Please welcome to the stage, Cantigas.
Thank you. We are Cantigas, a chamber choir in the Washington metropolitan area that is dedicated to the performance of choral music from Latin America, Spain, and the Caribbean. And we have prepared a program for you very special that is going to take you on a journey from Renaissance Spain and from the colonial times in the Americas all the way to the present. So we hope that you really enjoy it. We are going to start with a piece by a Canadian composer. It's called Nuevo Dia. Thank you. Our next piece is by a young composer from Venezuela. His name is Cesar Alejandro Carrillo. He's being published now in the United States, and we are very glad about that some of these composers that are not well known are finally being recognized and they're starting to be published. One of them is Cesar Alejandro. This piece is Salve Regina.
No
So let's go back in time to Renaissance Spain. Usually when we think about the composers from this era, we usually think of Tomás Luis de Victoria, because he was as well known as our dear Palestrina from Italy. But there were other composers as good as them, and one of them is Francisco Guerrero, who liked to compose a lot in the vernacular in Spanish. And this is one example of that. The villancico is one of those forms that was very well developed, and many composers, right, wrote villancicos in these times. And this is one of those examples. It's a Christmas villancico. It's called Vamos al Portal, which means let's go to the manger. We are going to sing a song. This is a traditional carol from Peru. One of the wonderful things about this choir is that in the choir, many of the members come from different parts of Latin America and Spain, and also from the United States. And we learn from each other. Everyone brings to the choir repertoire from music that they learn in their own countries. This is a carol that it's from the Andes region of South America. And this is a rhythm that is shared in all those countries that share the Andes Mountains, like Bolivia and Ecuador, Argentina, Chile, Peru. So we are going to feature the bombo, which is the drum, and I'm going to, if you can please bring me the bombo here. We are going to feature the bombo. This is the Andean drum. And it's kind of obvious why it's called bombo. Listen. So this carol is called Rueda, Rueda.
Oh
has a nice sound, doesn't it? You can imagine this drum being played in those the mountains of the Andes, and that sound traveling from one mountain to the other. We are going to go back again to Spain, back to Renaissance Spain. And this time we are going to sing a motet by Cristobal de Morales, who together with Tomás Ruiz de Victoria were very well recognized during their times, also like Palestrina, the same time as Palestrina, but not as well known. This motet, the nombre is Pastores di Chite, and it's about when the shepherds come and they're asking, Pastores, what did you see? And then the pastores say, oh, we saw this choir of angels announcing the birth of the baby. Thank you so much. Okay, this journey is getting a little bit dizzy because now we are going back to Latin America, but we are going to go from Renaissance Spain to 20th century Chile. And at the beginning of the 20th century, there was a very well-known composer in South America. His name was Alfonso Letelier. He mostly wrote for orchestra, but some of his choral pieces has become staples in the Latin American repertoire. So the next three short pieces are three beautiful carols written by Afonso Letelier based on traditional Christmas poetry. The first one is like a lullaby, En los brazos de la luna, in the arms of the moon.
Qué dichosa es la vida.
Cantigas, one of our traditions is that we love to have people join us in singing. So it's too tempting to see so many of you and not to have you sing. So we are going to teach you a carol that is very popular in Puerto Rico, but it came to Puerto Rico from Spain. And it's called Alegría, Alegría, Alegría. And this is what you're going to say. It goes, Alegría, Alegría y placer. Can you say that? Alegría, alegría y placer. Que la Virgen va de paso con su esposo hacia Belén. It's just the story of when Jesus and Mary go and they're asking for shelter. Okay, so we are going. What did I say? Oh, Jesus and Mary. I'm sorry. Yes, Joseph and Mary, they are asking for shelter. And so we are going to tell the story, and then you accompany us in the chorus, okay? Which is Alegría, Alegría. So we are going to teach it to you, so you can join us. And it goes like this, okay?
Con su amante esposo.
since we are already in Spain, right, because this carol came to us from Spain, we are going to go to the Basque country. And, you know, people from the Basque people, they like to be called that they're from the Basque country. I know that. And there's a composer, 20th century composer, who's become very popular among choruses. And his name is Javier Busto. And this composition is Ave Maria. Thank you. And let me see, from the Basque country, we want to go, you see, we are going to, are you getting dizzy already from this journey? We are going to go down to South America again, and we are going to sing a beautiful carol from Argentina. It's called Villancico De La Faltadefe. And for this, we have a soprano soloist. Her name is Marisol Quiñones Strong. Let's go to Cuba. We are getting warmer now. We are going to go to the Caribbean. And we are going to perform El Nuevo Dia by another 20th century composer that I have lots of respect for. Her name is Beatriz Corona, very young composer. And I wish that someday we'll get to hear more of her compositions here in the United States. The name of the song is El Nuevo Dia, the new day.
Venimos a adorar al niño, venimos a adorar al niño, en esta noche de gran alegría, guiados por la estrella en el cielo, que anuncia la paz y el nuevo día. Venimos a adorar al niño, venimos a adorar al niño, en esta noche de gran alegría, guiados por la estrella en el cielo, que anuncia la paz, el nuevo día. Le ofrecemos flores y frutos de nuestros campos cubanos y dulce miel niño que quiere que seamos hermanos. Adoremos al niño Jesús y démosle gracias mil para que este nuevo milenio en verdad viva feliz, en verdad viva feliz, feliz.
It's actually, for those of you who don't understand the Spanish, it brings a message of hope and wishing that for the new millennium, we can all be very happy. And in times of, these times that we are living, especially during this weekend that we've seen so much tragedy and so much sorrow in our country, we have always to keep that faith, right, and that hope alive, especially for the new generations. So now, since we are in the Caribbean, we are going to sing a carol from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a complete different tradition. We sing carols with bongos and claves and maracas and guitars. So I'm going to get my guitar now. It's a carol. It's called Dicen los Pastores. It's also about the shepherds. But before that, I would like to encourage all of you, after you leave here today, that you visit our webpage. It's cantigas.org. And that we would love to see you at our concerts. We still have 2 more concerts coming up next season, one on April 6th and one on June 1st. And they are in the area, in Silver Spring, Bethesda. And we would love to, as I said, we would love to that you become amigos of Cantigas, okay? Also, we are selling CDs, so I think they're $12 each, and they're gonna, when you go out, you're welcome to get some. So let's go to Puerto Rico now. If you feel like clapping or dancing, go ahead. It's allowed. It's appropriate. Thank you so much for your warmth and for welcoming us here today. We are going to finish our presentation, but before that, let me tell you another Christmas tradition. This one is from Puerto Rico. I'm from Puerto Rico, so that's why I know so much about it. And one of those traditions is the parranda, the Christmas parranda. Is there anyone here from Puerto Rico who knows about the Christmas parranda, right? So the parranda, you go around caroling, but it's very different to the Holy Night version of caroling, okay? You go out with the guitar, the bongos and the claves, and then you go after midnight when people are already sleeping and they don't know you're showing up. You go, you sing to them, you wake them up, they let you in, hopefully. You eat all their food and drink all their the drinks, and then they join you and you go to the next stop, and then you say, who are we going to surprise now with this parranda? So this is one of those songs that we sing at the parranda. It's called Alegre Vengo. And now, really, you're encouraged to, you can clap so they can clap with us, Alegre Vengos, okay? So with this, we want to thank you, the Kennedy Center, for this wonderful invitation, and we hope to see you next year, April 6th, at our concert in Bethesda. It's going to be dedicated to the music and poetry of Spain. So I really encourage you to come. Thank you so much, and let's finish with this Puerto Rican parranda.
Alegre vengo de la montaña, de mi cabaña, que alegre está. Y a mis amigos les traigo flores de las mejores de mi gozar. Y a mis amigos les traigo flores de las mejores de mi gozar. Óigame, compadre, yo se lo decía, esta parrandita yo se la traía. Alegre vengo de la montaña, de mi cabaña, que alegre está. Y a mis amigos les traigo flores de las mejores de mi gozar. Y a mis amigos les traigo flores de las mejores de mi gozar. Si no me levantas y me abres la puerta, estaré cantando hasta que amanezca. Alegre vengo de la montaña, de mi cabaña, que alegre está. Y a mis amigos les traigo flores de las mejores de mi gozar. Y a mis amigos les traigo flores de las mejores de mi gozar.
Happy holidays, and thank you so much.